Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a place I like to call Crown Corner. Today on the channel we're mourning the end of marathon season, for me anyway, at least for a year. I'm going to have 12 months off from the marathon, but for now it's the summer of speed. I'm going to be taking on Andy Badley's 5k workout he did when he was an Olympic athlete. It's a pretty grueling one, and I do have some pretty lofty expectations for the next 6 months for where I can take my 5k PB, which is a 17:36, and my 10k PB, which is a 38:05. My aim in the 5k is to very much get it below 17 minutes. That's going to be a big push, and that's why I need an Olympic athlete's workout to try and get this done. The workout, which you can view on the Running Channel's YouTube website, this insane workout consists of 1 kilometre at my 5k goal speed, 60 seconds recovery, and that's trying to jog, we'll see how that goes, and then straight into a 400 metre interval, which is about my 1500 metre speed, or thereabouts, and then a 3-minute recovery, jogging, walking, whatever I can manage to get done, and then repeating that 4 times. Now I'm going to try and hit 3-minute 25s, which is around 17 flat 5k speed. Now I'm only 11 days out from my marathon, so it's going to be pretty tricky, I think, to get this one done. And Andy Badley said that he would only do this a couple times in his track seasons because it was a big one. So I'm not anticipating that I'm going to be able to manage to get this all done, but as close as possible would be brilliant. If I need to walk a bit, I'm going to need to walk. But 325 kilometers is something that I've never really aimed to do before. I've always really aimed for 3-minute 30s for mid-17 5k pace. So I'll give it a good go, see how close I can get, and then we can, in a couple months' time, the week before I'm going for a 5k PB, which will probably be a park run in June time, probably June the 8th or June the 15th. We will do the workout again and see if we can up the speeds, reduce the amount of walking and make it jogging, and just see if I can bring the speeds up. I'm assuming today I'm going to be a little bit broken by the end of it. This is going to be a tough workout, but I'm really keen to see how close I can go. You can see behind me in Crown Corner that we do have Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris that I'll be using for this workout. The first time I'm going to be picking the speed up properly in them, because I've only done marathon work in them when I was running at about 4:10 per kilometre. So that's going to be a big bump up on the speed, so I'm hopeful that they're going to feel really good. I've seen lots of reviews where people are liking them quite a lot. They are incredibly light. The only thing I found so far with them is that potentially for me and my feet are a little bit small. So I'm going to run without socks today. That's always a bit risky with blisters and stuff, but hopefully that just stopped my feet from hitting the end, because they were just starting to hit the end a little bit by the end of the run I tried them on last time. So let's head out and see how we do with this brutal workout.
Up and away we are on the Andy. After a lovely little 3 kilometres warm up, can we now hone in on those 3:25 per kilometres?
The first thing, to be honest, that I noticed when I went out on this run was my legs felt a lot better than they had done in the previous couple of runs, which makes sense, getting further and further away from marathon time. And as we get going on this first kilometre, it's always good when you go a little bit quick to begin with. Not when you're going for the actual goal. You want to hit your pace and not go out too quickly, I promise you that. But in training, when you're a little bit worried about fatigue, it's always nice when an effort is actually quicker than you think it's going to be.
And 200 metres in or so, 3 minutes 22 per kilometre, legs turning over nicely at this point, the shoes feeling good, heart rate already getting towards my threshold. It's going to go above that easily. I could not sustain this speed for anywhere near an hour. 650 metres in, and I'm still going at 3 minutes 24 per kilometre, 178, 179 heart rate, so it's 180 now. It's not completely flown up to unreasonable territory, which is more like 188, 189 when I'm in big trouble, but it's definitely creeping up, but only 250 metres to go before a 60-second rest. That is really horrible. Andy, you're an absolute bully. Final 100 metres now, 3 minutes 21 per kilometre. My heart rate hadn't blown up even more than it had before as we come towards the end of this first kilometre, and I'm just trying to get to the end so I can have a little bit of a breather. Almost there. There we go. and a nice 60-second recovery. We'll see how low my heart rate can get while jogging. So we're bopping along now at 5 minutes 20 per kilometre. Heart rate has come down to 170, but that's pretty high really, and we're about to get going for a 400-metre interval where we need to pick up the speed from that 320, hopefully towards something like 310 per kilometre. And here we go, getting going now. Oh, and we are sending some fire down today. 3 minute flat almost, coming towards the end of this 400 metres. We're blowing hard. We were 186 heart rate there. Almost at the end of this, so we can have a nice 3 minute recovery, but jogging doing that's going to be tough. And there we reached the end, and it was a 1 minute 13.3 or 303 per kilometre. That was perhaps a little bit quick. Will I regret that? Well, you find me here 600 metres into my second 1 kilometre interval, and the heart rate now is in the danger zone. Alright, Kenny, 188 heart rate. This has got tough. The actual first 600 metres of this rep felt pretty lovely, actually. I was looking down at my watch hitting like 318, 3819, but then it all of a sudden got very, very hard. I'm assuming there's a certain amount of lactate that my body hits going at this speed that then makes it extremely agonizing. But we're almost at the end of this kilometre, but to be honest, most of my mind was on the 60-second recovery. No thank you. Almost there. That little doggie's about where we need to get to finally finish this second kilometre. And we're there. See, another 3 minutes 24.2, but the difference in effort I had to give is astronomically bigger, and there ain't a chance in hell I'm going to be able to jog this. I've tried for a few seconds and was like, nope, I'm going to have to walk this 60-second recovery. I'm blowing out my arse. But before I could recuperate my thoughts much, we're going again. My heart rate, at least while walking, did come down to the mid-160s. But instantly, as soon as I went off, it felt so much harder than that first 400 metres. I'd obviously accumulated a lot of lactate in the latter part of that second 1 kilometre. Initially, I actually was hitting reasonable speeds, but I slow quite a bit by the end of this. We're already very much in slight jelly-like territory with my legs, as I'm making some D-Mills-esque noises. Not far to go now. It's about 50 metres. And there we have it, a 1 minute 18.9, 3 minutes 17 per kilometre for that 400. A little bit of a shit under my breath there. That's only a little bit quicker than I managed the 1 kilometre interval. I definitely haven't picked it up to 1500 metre speed.
Oh, bitten off more than I can chew. Felt incredible halfway through that second 1k. Then I died, and that 400 was horrible. Wasn't much quicker than I did the 1k. 2.5 minute recovery.
And my live thoughts there showed exactly what I just said. It was tough, and I've still got 2 of these sets to go. Screw you, Andy. And as we start our third kilometre, at least our heart rate had come down to the mid-150s from that nice 3 minute walk. And I was thinking I'm probably going to have to pull the speed back here to more like 3 minutes 30 if I want to get this done. But my legs returned pretty much straight away back to a pretty quick turnover. My lungs weren't happy about it, and at this point I just thought, nah, I'm going to get this kilometre done as quick as I can feasibly do. And if I have to sack off the final kilometre, this is still going to be the 3 quickest kilometres in a workout that I've ever done consecutively, and we'll work on it over the next few months to get the 4th done. Full send. I'm imagining this is the final kilometre of my parkrun, going for the sub 17, and I need to hit a 325. Final couple hundred metres, we are slowing slightly. 190 heart rate, let's listen in properly. when the pain is over. Peaking at 192 heart rate, and I managed to get below a 3 minute 25, a 3 minute 24.4, only losing 0.2 seconds to the first 2 kilometres. That's actually probably 3 of the most consistent kilometres I've ever done. There wasn't a chance in hell I was going to do a 60-second recovery and then be able to do anything meaningful as a 1500 metre speed rep. So I decided to just get on my way home, leaving the park, and after about, I think it's about 2.5, 3 minutes probably, I then went for the final 400 metres and managed to stumble home in 1:18.5, 3 minutes 16 per kilometre, and then called it a day and jogged home.
So back to Crown Corner, and shock horror, an Olympic athlete's 5k workout has completely ruined a young hobby jogger. It was always going to be tough to get that workout fully done, but it leaves me with some really good opportunities over the next few months to work at my speed and have another go in the week of a 5k PB in June. And how were the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris? I thought they were bloody brilliant. I think maybe they were too quick that my lungs just couldn't keep up with them. Usually when I'm doing 400 metre repeats, I am able to run on my forefoot, but quickly that does come back to a rearward striking. However, I feel like in these I did manage to just about keep a midfoot strike for most of the kilometre, even though I was really struggling. So that's something that I'll definitely be keen to see if I can take these for my 5k PB attempt. However, I have been left with some pretty horrible blisters from running bare feet. Now obviously I could wear socks again, but then I was getting rubbing on the front of my feet because I feel like they're a little bit small with my size 9.5, which is the size for most of my shoes, but there's a little bit smaller than this size, and I don't really fancy forking out another 200 odd pounds for size 10. So I'm not sure how many more workouts I'll actually do in the Sky Paris, but I'll definitely take a little bit of rubbage and bleeding for a 5k PB attempt in June. So maybe these will just sit on this shelf here. If my girlfriend lets me, she definitely won't. For PB attempts in the future, keeping them nice and fresh. So thanks for watching, everyone. We've got a huge video coming up at the start of next week. D Mills is running London Marathon. I will be running around after him, trying to film as much as I possibly can and comparing his 5k splits to my 5k splits from the Brighton Marathon that you can watch up here.
He's always been aiming to go off at about 4 minutes 30 per kilometre, which is about a 3-hour 10 marathon, which would beat me. It's pretty ambitious considering he hasn't actually done any more than one long run over 25 kilometres, which is about 28 kilometres, and I managed during my training block 6 or 7 35-kilometre runs.
However, you never know with D Mills, and if he starts feeling good, he definitely a possibility that he could crack it. If it beats me, it's definitely because he's the Passion Prince, as we all know. So tune in at the start of next week to see how that goes. See you soon, everyone.